Hey guys, good evening. Dr. X Key Score here. I'd like to say hello to you all and thanks for stopping by. This is my first video. I'm not into videos. I'm not into doing audios or podcasts. I'm really not here by choice. I'm here because I was chosen by rogue federal agents to become a target. Which in turn profits their friends that own the private intelligence agencies. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm here to talk about what's referred to in the intelligence community as the program. On the street level, there is a term meant to discredit individuals. It's referred to as gang stalking, meaning or implying that the acts could be random, while indeed they're very, very well organized, very highly coordinated. So, what is the program and who's involved? All right, you ready for the list, guys? Here we go. So, up at the top, you have DOD, you have Cyber Command, you have NSA, you have Army Psychological Operations, and several Air Force branches that the general public is not aware of. You have the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Geospatial Intelligence Agency, the National Reconnaissance Office, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Homeland Security, Joint Terrorist Task Force, which is comprised of FBI, other agencies, and then state and local, who actually carry two sets of ID or two sets of paperwork, two badges, because they are deputized and are law enforcement officers on a county or state level, and they're also employed by the federal government. In addition to that, you have Citizens Corps members, FEMA, FBI InfraGard, and something that Homeland Security refers to as surveillance role players or live action role players, which in turn might be coordinated or usually are coordinated by private intelligence agencies, frequently owned by retired military personnel or federal personnel from any of the aforementioned agencies I just referenced. So what is the program? Basically, it's an extrajudicial political targeting protocol that went ballistic with the Patriot Act under Bush-Cheney. Now, the Clintons did indeed help develop this program in the mid-90s when they brought over, from what I understand, Marcus Wolf, who was in charge of the Stasi. So a lot of the foundation for the Department of Homeland Security is constructed from the remnants of the now non-existent Stasi by the actual individual that ran that heinous and evil organization. Well, after 9/11, all of a sudden, if you went and protested Shamu the killer whale in 1992, or tied yourself around a tree in 2000, or went to a Black Lives Matter protest in 2005, protested an abortion in 2010, or expressed overt dislike for Obama on social networking during his reign in office, then guess what? You've now been labeled a potential domestic threat. And it gets even more interesting. If you travel, these agencies will tell foreign governments that you are a terrorist. You're not even given a heads up. You can be in Timbuktu, minding your own business, and all of a sudden find yourself under intense local law enforcement attention because the FBI, Homeland Security, JTTF, or private contractors rolled in, coerced the already corrupt locals, probably gave them a little bit of money on the side, and that's all it takes. But in any case, what is the program? What is it? What is it comprised of? all of the tenets, the most successful tenets and tactics of other intelligence agencies and operations. Let me try and break this down. And by the way, guys, folks, gals, and anyone else, according to how you describe yourself, I'm doing this from the top of my head. I don't have anything written down at all. So this is coming straight from my mind to the video. So you're getting the pure uncut stuff. No pre-preparation. All right. So what are the components of the program? Start with the FBI, COINTELPRO, run against Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, whole host of other people in the 60s and 70s. And it was revealed by the Church Committee, I believe, in the early 1970s. So there are some aspects of COINTELPRO built into this program. The FBI also uses something called managed aggression, which is overt stalking tactics if you're a pedestrian, or battle swarming with vehicles if you're mobile in your own vehicle. That's mentioned in FBI documents as well. FBI also utilizes, like Homeland Security does, what I refer to as the 5 Ds, created or put together by the UK's Joint Threat Research Intelligence Group. The 5 Ds are deny, deceive, disrupt, degrade, and destroy. They want to dehumanize you, depersonalize you, or deperson you. They want to destroy your social connections, your financial connections. This is asymmetric warfare, full spectrum warfare with a heavy, heavy dose of psychological operations combined with the protocol. But we're not done yet. The CIA ran a very, very successful program or operation in Vietnam referred to as Operation Phoenix. And what they did would not necessarily use force, but attack the support structure of anyone they deemed to be a threat to the military activities going on in the region at the time. One of the things that I like to point out is in a hostile area, hostile terrain, in wartime, I think in certain cases it's appropriate to use this stuff. However, for these intelligence agencies to be deploying the tactics of Operation Phoenix here in the United States against Americans, counterintelligence is utilizing intelligence to combat the enemy's intelligence harvesting efforts. Counterterrorism is utilizing terrorist tactics against whoever you perceive to be the enemy. So by default, via Department of Defense definition, the FBI, Homeland Security, and all of these federal agencies, via this nasty political targeting protocol, are indeed engaged in domestic terrorism. No argument. No room for discussion. This constitutes domestic terrorism. But wait, I'm not finished. The depersonizing or the depersoning of an individual also occurred under the Stasi, and it was referred to as Zersetzung, which means social decomposition. They're going to terrify your mom. They're going to alienate your father from you. They're going to have your siblings convinced you're mentally ill, you're a sexual deviant, you're a thief, you're a danger to society, and oh my God, we always knew this, but, you know, we held back from telling you until the last moment because, you know, we respect your family and everything. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's part of the tactic. Just like in Operation Phoenix in North Vietnam, what they're doing here is going after the individual's support system. And by the way, people, they change the narrative to the information recipient. If you live next door to a green person, you're a friggin' racist who hates green people. If your next door neighbor has a little girl, guess what the focus of your sexual deviancy will be when relayed to him by the FBI, Homeland Security, or the local police who are walking around with what was referred to as kompromat, which is a Russian word, or the disinformation package. So the local police are actually given fake dossiers from these agencies, in part created at threat fusion centers for disbursement among the target's neighbors, co-workers, people he goes to the gym with or wherever he goes to worship. Wherever the individual goes, the FBI, JTTF, Homeland Security, InfraGard will follow him or her around and destroy their reputation. And for the first year or two, you might not even know what's going on. You've got people ghosting you, they're dropping out of the picture, you've known them for 2 decades, and all of a sudden they're gone. Well, that's part of the reason why they've been warned to stay away from you, because you are a potential domestic threat and a terrorist as described within the Patriot Act. And by the way, all of this is decided in a kangaroo court. We never have our day in court. This equates, legally speaking, to cruel and unusual punishment, human trafficking, terrorism, governmental abuse, and possible sedition and treason if one would examine the long-term goals of the individuals who are responsible for the creation and operation of this protocol.